WP, your friends are convinced that you have a new date every single day with all of the girls you bring home. In reality, your partner is a shapeshifter, and the two of you have been pulling a prank on your friends for years.
A relationship built on deceit and mistrust is doomed to fail, and almost always in some spectacular blow-up. You must be honest with her. So, what's getting in the way? What aren't you talking about with her?
We're talking,
said Vincent.
I feel like the channels are still very open between the two of us. What I wanted to talk to you about is the mistrust she's creating between me and my friends. We've talked before about her ongoing prank, right?
Remind me.
The therapist didn't need reminding of what prank his client was talking about. It had been a through line in their sessions for many weeks now. He just wanted to sip his coffee for a while, take a rest, and let Vincent fill the conversation.
So Ellen has been wearing a new face almost every time she comes back to my apartment. The gag is that my roommates think I'm out there just picking up a new girl every weekend, and I guess they're supposed to be the butt of the joke to feel insecure about not getting pussy or something. But more and more lately it feels like the joke is turning towards me. And sometimes Ellen will be flat out cruel, wearing familiar faces that only stir drama.
How so?
Like last Valentine's Day, we came back and found Justin alone on the couch. Alex was out. And as we're walking inside, I'm thinking that I've still got my arm around the woman from the soap advert that Ellen admired earlier, and I'm talking to Justin, asking how he's doing. He's trying not to look at me, just being super awkward. When we get back to the bedroom, Ellen's still the soap ad lady, and I ask if she noticed anything strange about Justin's attitude, and she brushes it off with something heightened jealousy around Valentine's. She never brings it up again. But for the next few weeks in that apartment, things between all three of us guys are fucking strange. Like silent when I enter a room, passive two-word exchanges sort of strange.
Did you confront either of them on this?
Justin confronted me. When we eventually had another day together without Alex, he immediately jumped down my throat about Valentine's, telling me I was sick in the head, that I was an out-of-control sex addict.
I don't follow.
Alex's parents had a rough divorce over the winter holidays. He was in a really bad place then. On Valentine's Day, Alex was visiting his dad, keeping him company to distract him from the first year in 30 or so that he'd spent alone. And where was his mom? Well, according to Justin, she stayed with us that night. I came waltzing in with my arm around her and took her straight to the bedroom without an explanation.
Well, that's...
The therapist had to raise his coffee mug again so Vincent wouldn't catch his smile.
I can clearly see how terrible that must have made you feel, and what a predicament you must have found yourself in. What did you say when Justin confronted you on this?
I acted ignorant, genuinely, because Ellen never filled me in on the joke, so I didn't know what he was talking about. And that just made him angrier with me, since now I'm apparently the one gaslighting him, trying to tell him he didn't see what he knows he saw. He'd already told Alex, and Alex had brought it up to the real Mrs. Finch, and she was obviously as confused as I was about it all. So to save face, I had to admit to sleeping with her to Justin just so I could beg him to cover it up and lie to Alex about what he really saw. We brought it all out in the open when Alex came home. Justin lied to his best friend about how I corrected his misidentification of a nice older woman I found at the bar, and I lied on top of a lie to the both of them so that Ellen's secret wouldn't come out.
Vincent, I see where your anxiety is coming from, but may I ask something about your relationship with Ellen? Okay? You've expressed to me before how you wish she would find ways to integrate herself more fully into your circle of friends, and how her lifestyle prevents them getting to know her in a traditional sense. Among your friends, the closest thing to a love language that I've been able to pick up on is your sarcastic takedowns and practical jokes at each other's expense. Is this elaborate joke with Alex's mom possibly Ellen's way of expressing that same love and camaraderie? From where I'm standing, although I can see how much stress the situation has brought you, objectively speaking, I think it's actually a very funny prank, and so clever of her to pull it off without letting you notice the setup. She must have been very patient to keep quiet and wait for things to play out. Let me ask, once you found out what she had accomplished, how did you bring this up with Ellen?
Well, I was mad. I came to her apartment that weekend, sat her down calmly, told her all about how I was feeling. She thought I was overreacting, that I couldn't take a joke, and it turned into a pretty big argument.
Oh my, that sounds a bit unfair.
I thought so too.
Unfair to Ellen.
What? How? Well, it sounds very accusatory the way you describe it. Like you suspected her of wanting to make you feel bad. Did you intend to make her upset by bringing this up? No,
As your therapist, I have to say, Vincent, this is very unhealthy. You should not create an argument for nothing with the person who matters most to you. I think you should really take a step back and try to see things from her point of view. Maybe you did miss the joke, or maybe your friends are the ones stirring drama. Have you asked Justin why he didn't talk with you directly about the awkward situation before bringing Alex into things? Why he doesn't seem to trust you?
Well, I didn't think about it like that, but I guess you're right. He could have asked.
He should have asked. In fact, a rational person like Ellen must have assumed he would ask, and that the joke would stop there before it could do any real damage to your social life. I may just be a licensed doctor in human psychology, but to me it almost sounds like Justin is intentionally trying to exile you from that apartment.
No, he wouldn't do that. We've had each other's back since we were kids. We were friends before Alex was even in the picture.
I'm sorry, Vincent, but part of therapy is learning to handle hard truths. Your friends may not have your best interests at heart.
That really sucks. Is there any way to fix this?
First and foremost, you should apologize to Ellen. You should have never taken this out on her.
Okay, and then?
Maybe start asking yourself if you've outgrown your friends.
But these guys have always been more than friends. They're my family. We've been living together since we were teenagers. I wouldn't know what to do without them.
That's just the way life unfolds. People grow apart. New relationships fill the gaps left behind. If you're worried about your living situation, I can think of at least one person you should ask for help.
As the hour and the session came to a close, Vincent logged off of his computer with a renewed devotion for his girlfriend. Under the advice of his therapist, he headed straight for the nearest flower store to pick out a bouquet of calla lilies. At the same time, Vincent's therapist began dismantling the green screen curtain hanging behind his office chair. He undressed and hid his khaki suit, green screen, and rolling chair all into the locking bedroom closet. The therapist looked at himself in the mirror and began his breathing and stretching exercises. Moments later, Vincent was knocking on his door, and Ellen answered that she would be there in a moment.